Send us in the vortex. Come on, man.
Vortex.
Jeff, vortex. Come on, man.
Come on down.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Come on, man. This microphone, you sit here, you're talking to it. Otherwise, I'll interview you or not here. Vortex, I hear you're retiring from podcasts. Are you healthy? Is everything okay? He says he's fine and he's going to make music. What kind of music are you going to make? He says electronic music. Can you tell us more? He has one of those machines that makes beats and beeps and things. The beats and the beeping, you don't say? Come on, man. He must have had a falling out like the Chris Ellis or something. Yeah, he must have fallen out. Oh, well, so the guy says it's still not clear. To follow up on what Jackson was saying, it sounds like the company owns the Bitcoin. You're only really using it as a medium of exchange. So when you buy with a debit card, you're really only responsible for buying a voucher on Zap with a debit card. Then whatever Zap's doing with the sending the lightning to the invoice, that's their problem. That's nothing you know about. So it sounds to me like you'd only be responsible for buying a voucher on Zap. So you guys can look it up more. Not a tax attorney, not tax advice. But, I think it sounded good. The way he explained it made sense to me. They're saying in the the IRS will segregate payment for goods and buying Bitcoin for yourself, because it doesn't seem like, unless you scam the system and you're sending the Bitcoin to yourself, so then you're using Strike to buy Bitcoin, which sounds smart. Don't quote me on that one. It sounds like you can't ever end up with a Bitcoin. The Bitcoin's always being sent to whoever you're buying the dog food from. So if you can't end up with it, it's like paying in stock. You can't be responsible for holding Apple stock for the minute that you paid it in. At least that's my take on it. You can ask. I'm sure they have responses on Twitter and stuff. Jack's a good guy. You can ask him personally. I'm sure he'll give you more info.
It's an interesting question, actually, from Yuganshi. So how will IRS segregate payments for goods and buying Bitcoin for yourself? So I'd imagine if that's like, obviously people invest in Bitcoin, but if you're transacting in it and you're getting change, that's
I think it would be hard to tell. I think that the loophole the loophole that we found is if you put your own Bitcoin address in.
Yeah.
So now I'm not buying dog food. I'm actually buying the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So I think it would be very tough for them to tell that was your Bitcoin address. I don't know that the company would be responsible for that. I don't know that it's their fault. I don't know that there's any kind of imaginable KYC that they could do to say that is not your address, that is the dog food address, or that is the dog food address, or vice versa. Yeah. Either way. So
what change addresses for Electrum, for example. So it comes back to you.
Hopefully it'd be exact. There'd be no change because they don't want change would ruin the liability issues. But
so as Korzik said, when you buy BC and hold, it's not taxable. It's only when you spend it. And I think it was Trace Mayer last year. We were chatting to about the work that Caitlin Long was doing in Wyoming. So I think she was pushing for transactions under $1,000 to be untaxable, non-taxable events.
They've had a bill that went through Congress. They're trying to do the same kind of thing. Make it reasonable, make it so that we could use it as a currency, because a lot of people are already, and it's incredibly daunting to put every $2 hamburger transaction into your taxes. And when did you buy that $2? How much was it worth when you sold it? And all these kind of things. It's very difficult.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's software out there, but even the best software can't contend with exchanges that have gone down and that side of things. So if you don't keep your offline records, then you could be in trouble. But talking about exchanges going down, I just saw David Silver, and he's still working on the Nano case. And apparently, if you're an idiot like me, you may get. Sorry, but to quote David directly, a fucking idiot like me, then you might actually get some cash back.
We interviewed him last time too.
He did. Yeah.
I love that guy. I wish he'd come over. We waved at him. We were like, Counselor Silver.
Yeah.
He wasn't interested.
But he's still working the case. So.
But yeah, he's great on Twitter too. He's always like describing how all the people that are perpetrating all these scams are going to go down and it's not going to last forever. And that his law firm will probably be the one to take it down. Silver Law Firm. What was great about him last time, we talked about First Computers. And he had also played micro league baseball. this classic game on the Apple II where you just have a bunch of baseball players. You tell them like hit or swing away or hit a home run or whatever, and it would calculate based on the stats. It had no graphics. It was just stats. But it was back in the day.
Like Football Manager.
Kortik in the chat says more. He says, every transaction with Bitcoin is on the blockchain. It is a public record. If you bought your Bitcoin on the exchange and spent from that exchange to buy goods, they know. Where you spend, therefore, is a gain at the time of purchase. You pay the tax. Yeah, I think definitely for the traditional Bitcoin, that's how it works. If I buy a coffee or whatever, and if I paid $4 for the Bitcoin and it was $5 when I bought the coffee, that's an extra dollar that I gained. I would owe the taxable amount on that.
Yeah,
but it might be completely unreasonable for me to determine all those transactions and to find all that information.
When it's even more difficult in the UK, I've just done my cap gains, which I still have to pay, but soon. But in the UK, you essentially pull all of the Bitcoin that you buy, so that it kind of, I don't know, almost creates an average price. So yeah, it's quite interesting in that way. So it's quite hard to kind of track all this, and especially if you're someone that played silly shitcoin games, and like, you know, there's exchanges that have gone down, etc. And even, you know, even to the extent Mt. Gox, I suppose there was probably data still on Mt. Gox, but you know, you're only essentially on the off ramps, you're giving away your identity now. On ramps and off ramps, now that there's KYC. But there may have been exchanges you bought your BTC from a long time ago. There could have been local Bitcoins as well, you know, that you bought cash in hand. So the tax man wants to know how much money you made on that. Come on, Felix. Come on, Felix. Come on, Felix.
People are afraid of microphones today. Let's see. Client in the chat says, the best is that transacting between currencies isn't a transactable event yet.
Well,
tough to say. Depends on the market.
Yeah. If it's BTC to USD, surely
that would be. But maybe to BTC to LTC to Dogecoin back to BTC or something. Maybe you wouldn't have to pay.
Yeah, but in as far as I'm aware, I think the UK, it's like every trade is sacred. So like if you like flipped out Bitcoin into Flappy Coin, into Litecoin, into Kanye Coin, then like apparently each one of those is a taxable event. But if that's actually a case, I think there's going to be a lot of wrecked people out there who did a lot of shitcoinery trades during the 2017.
I definitely want to agree with you and Iguani. Sorry if I said your name wrong, man. He says, will it be a user obligation to prove that he actually bought the dog food and didn't just dump the Bitcoin at 3x later on BISC? And I think that is a bit of a gray area that we've discovered with this app. It works great if you're paying someone else, but if you're paying yourself the Bitcoin, I don't know. And it's the same thing where I don't think that the wallet would be able to determine that you were paying yourself or if you're paying someone else. You just scanned a QR code. You just want to pay someone. So it could be a little loophole there. Do with it what you will. Not tax advice. So, Dan, I don't know. Do you want to keep this going? I can look at the clock. We have 8 minutes. 8 minutes more. We'll be broadcasting for 6 hours consecutively.
It's pretty hardcore. Yeah. I think. Is there any? What time the festivities and stuff start?
No one in here wants to be interviewed.
No one. Yeah.
There's a bunch of good people, but they're up on stage in a panel. So I don't think that's
Adam's over there, but he's that's Trace. Do you fancy a WCN interview? Yeah.
All right. You heard his name on the stage. They say it's 5:00 in Las Vegas. That's true. We missed the results of the Las Vegas, Nevada caucuses. I'm very interested to see how my people voted today. I would have loved to join them in the caucuses. I've never been invited to a caucus before, but I'll have to wait 4 more years, I suppose.
Caucus. So it's an interesting word.
I could have caucused. I was cock ready. I was caucused. But no, we've been on for 6 hours. You guys gave us the thumbs up. You gave us the shares. We went through the Scammy Awards. We have to kind of try to run these over, see if our ballots could be part of the voting. But be sure to check out the Unconfiscatable live stream over on the Unconfiscatable Twitter and their YouTube and stuff. They're going to have the Scammies live here. I've heard 9:00 at night, which sounds pretty late. I might go home and eat dinner and maybe watch at home. But definitely want to check it out. Leah says she has some kind of a knockout dress or something for the scammies. That sounds nice. And I think it was some fun categories. We talked about a lot of the scammy categories today: scammer of the year, most clueless community, all that kind of stuff.
You can still vote as well. I think if you go to the Twitter, Unconfiscatable Twitter, there's the opportunity to vote on who you believe are the coolest
getting
scammers.
exciting there. The camera was moving. People love that. It's all right. So
go for it. Come and join us, Safety. Are you good? You good?
Yeah. But I think we're going to about close it up here and pack it up. We did in 6 minutes. We'll waste the other 5 minutes maybe, but we did 6 hours here of live consecutive commentary.
Hardcore.
Dan, what was your favorite part about the day? What was the best?
Well, as usual, like conferences nowadays, I never see any of the speeches. But I love the kind of the up close and personal chatting. You know, I think Peter Todd's always a good laugh. I love having him on. Lots of hashtag bants. Ugly old goat as well. Yeah, I like the concept of the shield and etc. And I thought we were gonna get Trace then, but I think he's
we're done. It's over. People have lost their interest. It's 5 o'clock here. People are tired. It's been a long day. I liked it a lot. I think we had a nice mixture of guests today. I was glad to see women in Bitcoin showing up. I like that a lot. I think I thought Sasha Hodler is very cool. She's a very big attorney. I think I met her years ago at a conference. So it's nice to see her again. Good to have Tatiana on the show, and Anastasia and Mir and Leah and just so many people. I enjoyed talking most recently to the guy from the Texas Bitcoin conference. I never met anybody from there, and he seemed super great. So maybe we'll try to do this at the Texas Bitcoin conference. So